Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Monday, August 10th. Boys, I think the last show we did was at the end of May, but we are back. I am joined tonight by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at BoomyTCF on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLiliaTCF. Main page on Instagram. Type in Typical Chicago Fans, follow us on there. Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans, follow us on there. Go over to the YouTube page, subscribe on to the boys. This is new. I haven't been doing this even with the podcast. Boomy's been doing it, so I'm getting back into the flow of it. If you want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe on there. Wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, type in Typical Chicago Fans. If it's on Apple, give us a 5-star rating if you would. Please subscribe, rate, review, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Like I said, please give us that nice little 5-star rating on there. If it's Spotify, follow us on there and give us a review. Boys, I didn't know we had so many reviews on Spotify. I was informed this the other day. I think it was Spotify or I think it's either that or Apple. I think Apple, we got like 30 reviews. We love it. We have a 5-star rating on there. So thank you to all the supporters. Like I said, thank you to everyone that's been supporting us through all of this. It's been a while. It's been a weird time with no sports. So we've been trying to, we took a little bit of a break. We've been doing the podcast, but we are back with the TCF Morning Show. We'll be coming at you probably 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We got sports. I mean, I'm watching SportsCenter right now. It's just beautiful to have live sports. But boys, how are you guys feeling today? How was the weekend?
Weekend's great, man. I never complain about weekends. So me and Zach did some moving yesterday, some stuff that we acquired. And then today just relaxed, man. I can't complain. So it felt good to sit back, watch some golf, watch some sports. Like you said, Zach, sports are back, and that's really all that matters. So
yes, it is. It is kind of all that matters that we realized our lives revolve around sports, and then it was taken from us. Maddie, how was your weekend?
It's pretty relaxing, to be honest, man. I didn't do much. I just hung out with the family, cooked out a little bit yesterday. Had some cocktails with Maggie this afternoon, just on our deck while the kids slept. And
beautiful weekend.
He woke up. We just cooked some dinner, had some tacos tonight. Can't beat it, man.
No, and like I said, sports. It would have been nice to have the Cubs, but we did not have that. But shout out!
Got their rest though. They got their rest.
You can't forget the biggest add to the TCF Morning Show throughout this quarantine has been we have a new sponsor, boys. 26shirts.com.
New sponsor alert.
We will be coming up with a promo code here in the next few days that we'll be throwing out that we're going to need you guys to help us with. It'll be a discount code that you'll be able to type in, buy the shirts, buy the flags, buy the hats. But 26shirts.com. Go out there. Chicago. They got Buffalo. It's a beautiful. They have beautiful shirts for Chicago. We want to say thank you to 26 Shirts. Like I said, we'll be getting that discount code out to the people. We'll need all of our. Boomy's got
one of them right here.
Boomy's got one of them right there. I was looking through them. They got a lot of shirts out right now. So we'll need the TCF supporters to help us out there. We'll let you know here in the next few days, boys. Let's get into the topics. First topic, we have a schedule coming out. The Blackhawks are playing the Vegas Knights in the first round of the playoffs. They got through the qualifying round. They let the Blackhawks in. They were the 12th seed. They were the last team allowed into the qualifying round, and they ended up beating the Edmonton Oilers in Edmonton. It's a beautiful thing for the Blackhawks to keep it rolling. Playoff hockey is so fun. Matt, you said you had a schedule here for us.
Yeah, Lazarus just tweeted it out about 20 minutes ago. Game 1's Tuesday night. They're going to play 9:30 Central. Game 2 Thursday, 4:30 Central in the afternoon. So a little daytime hockey on Thursday. Saturday, Game 3, 7 o'clock, primetime Saturday night. Set your clocks. It's all Game 3 of a series is always huge either way. So if it's going 2-0 to 2-1 to 3-0, it's a swing game usually. So 7 o'clock primetime slot. Sunday they play 5:30, and then they're going to again play the 18th, the 20th, the 22nd. So every 2 days thereafter. So Hawks and Vegas Knights, man. It's gonna be a slugfest.
It is gonna be fun. We were excited. Not excited, but with some of the players that Matt was talking about before, we didn't really want to play Colorado. We would rather play the Vegas Knights. I know that sounds stupid. You say, oh, why would you rather play the team that beat them? But, I mean, it's just the matchups for the Blackhawks are in their favor with playing the Knights. And I'm just excited to see what this Blackhawks team can keep it if they can keep it moving. The defense is still going to be a struggle throughout the playoffs. It was a struggle in the qualifying round, but Corey Crawford played really well, especially in that last game. Played really well, saved the Blackhawks a lot of times. I think Kirby Dack was the biggest upside in that series because you kind of realize that this guy has turned into a professional hockey player. He really took his the quarantine time, and like I said, I think he was working out with Jonathan Toews, this guy, trainer, and it's just you can really see where he was going. Jonathan Toews played really well, and like you said, Patrick Kane, he's still going to have a Patrick Kane game here sometime against the Knights. I know it will happen. Boomy, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, man, this is a great situation, and I know we all agree that it's good that they're playing Vegas. I think that Colorado's just kind of a better team right now. But the best thing is this is a team that, yes, they have the veteran guys out there, and we talked about them on the podcast that just came out, so go listen to that. But the nice thing is they also have a bunch of young guys who are maybe just kind of young and dumb and, can kind of go out and play without that, the heaviness of playoff work on their shoulders and just play hockey. And I think you did see some of that in that first series, so maybe that can carry over. The veteran leadership, staying where it's at, and they've done a great job with the guys that have been in the playoffs. So I think this is a good combination. I'm not, they're the bottom team in the playoffs, so just go in and have some fun and maybe, ruin someone's chances and see what happens. I like what they're doing, and they just seem like a different hockey team than they were back in February and March. So let's play it out and see what happens and let the chips fall where they may.
I want to point out, though, I know I think we're all in agreement that we'd rather face Vegas than Colorado, but this is not a team to sleep on either.
Mm-mm.
Right.
I mean,
This is a damn good team.
They played well, and they're a good team.
Well, they got bangers, and it's going to be a very physical series. It's not going to be like Edmonton. They're not going to be lighting up the scoreboard real quick. They got guys who are going to bring the thunder with Pacioretty. William Karlsson's a stud down the middle, big point producer, but he's also good defensively. And the other guy is Mark Stone, and that was the guy I always wanted.
That's a hockey name.
Yeah, I wanted the Hawks to get him a couple years ago at the deadline when they were kind of flirting with him, and he was on the brink of free agency. But he's a little bit of a poor man's Hossa. Good scorer, big guy, strong, good defensively as well, but he can put up some points. So, guy to watch out as well. Another Max Pacioretty too. You guys probably know him. So,
yeah.
This is not going to be an easy series either way you swing it. But the explosion from Colorado is something that's would be hard to match. Real good underlying story though is Robin Leonard.
Yes, I was going to say
that. We got a crack at Leonard again now. So. He's going to be running his mouth here soon after game one or two.
He wasn't happy with the way he was traded, and he had some stuff to stay on his way out of Chicago. So I think this team will have maybe a little bit of extra motivation there also. So I'm excited to see what this Blackhawks team can do. Tuesday night, 9:30, we'll be previewing that again tomorrow on the TCF Morning Show. We'll get more into that. 9:30, a late one, but after that, we're going to have some great times for some games, so we're excited for that. Playoff hockey. The Hawks are in the playoffs. It's a great time for Chicago hockey. But let's move on. What does MLB do with the Cardinals, boys? They have another series coming up. It's against the Pirates, I think they're supposed to be playing.
Yeah.
It's already canceled, a 3-game series. They are 2-3 right now. I saw the standings. They played 5 games. They had to make up all these games. They have a series against the Cubs coming up here soon, against the White Sox coming up. Boys, what do you think what do you think they should do with them?
Any team that's doing this, and we mentioned this on the podcast, any team that's caught breaking the rules, and if they've got guys out of casinos or like the Marlins out at the bar.
Is it Scott Plesac with the Indians? A pitcher.
Yeah,
he just got sent home because he was,
and that's because they're taking it seriously.
Out in Chicago with his friends.
The rules. Exactly. So if they can't follow the rules, you have to forfeit those games you missed. And like I said, I would say this: if the Cubs were the ones doing this, if the Sox were the ones doing this, if it was the Padres, it doesn't matter. If you can't follow the rules,
if you're consistently ruining other teams' season, then you got to get out of there.
You're being selfish.
Yeah, it's going to start to backfire for MLB when they got to make up all these games, and you're going to all these other teams. Like the Cubs had a 3-game series, just not going to happen. They're supposed to make it up. Who knows when they're going to be able to make it up, if they're going to be able to make it up. But they don't. Other than that, they almost had a scare. I mean, like, yes, they got the positive test. They probably wouldn't let them out there without it. But what if somebody came in contact with a Cubs player? They've been doing a great job, but, like, they were in St. Louis about to play the games. Like, it's just kind of scary in that kind of, like, factor, too, of, like, it could ruin another team.
Sort of punishment. There's got to be some sort of punishment. You can't – if you're trying to run this, billion-dollar business and guys can't stop going to the bars and stuff, you have to come down harsh. And I know it sucks, but, like, you've got to put a penalty on it. And these guys are just kind of skating by without being reprimanded for anything right now.
Yeah. And it's just it's starting to get annoying for teams like us that where the Cubs are doing the right things, they're hot, and then they don't get to play 3 games. And now yes, it's nice to have the days off, but also you would like to stay hot. You like to keep it moving.
Yeah.
You just lost 12-2 against Kansas City, and now you have to wait till Tuesday to play again.
Yeah. And like I said, I would be saying this if the Cubs were the ones that were out at the bars. Like, it doesn't matter the team. Like, you have to enforce this. It's the same way, the NBA is doing it right. Guys that are leaving, like Lou Will, that was caught, doing stuff he wasn't supposed to be or places he shouldn't have been. Like, you have to come down hard on those guys. You have to teach a lesson here. And it's going to continue if they don't start enforcing some kind of rule. And it sucks that that's the way it is. You got to be a prick about it. But if you want to continue and finish the season, you have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, you're a better man than I am. I think it makes it worse that it's the Cardinals. Those guys suck.
They do suck.
I don't disagree with your sentiment. I'm just saying that anybody that's not following and he's you got to be punished.
But you are right. No. It does make it just a little bit worse that it's the Cardinals. And they ruined our weekend. Yeah. Supposed to be watching Sunday Night Baseball tonight against the Cubs, Cardinals. Nope. It was the White Sox, Indians. That's who we got to watch because the Cubs.
One positive is we haven't had to hear their fans at all. So
yeah, that's
the greatest fans in
very
sports.
Quiet, very quiet.
In sports,
you hate to see
some fans that were mad. The White Sox coaching decisions.
Angry.
The White Sox,
and that continued tonight, boys. It's getting hot tonight. It's getting real hot tonight.
It's crazy. They are not happy with Rick Renteria. I mean, you could have known that at the beginning of the year. I don't think Rick Renteria is going to be their coach for the future. Who knows what's going to happen there. But a lot of White Sox fans were kind of confused about the way they went about their game on, I think it was Saturday, where they gave up a lot of runs, and they kind of it kind of seemed like they just kind of gave up, which that happens. It's baseball. But it set off a storm on White Sox Twitter that was wild. They were going after each other. They were people that would. I don't know. I was very confused by the whole thing because I understand. Yeah, it was a bad game, but it was one game. It wasn't like it was I don't know. I thought it was kind of confusing. They did throw in the towel for the game because they were down a lot of runs. That happens in baseball. The Cubs had it happen the other night on Friday. They were down 6-7 runs, and then you're not coming back from that. So I mean, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on the whole thing?
I think the White Sox fans got and they're backtracking it now. And I shouldn't say all Sox fans. It's just apparently the ones I follow on Twitter. But they were all gung-ho thinking, like, this is going to be the year that they're going to make a deep run and be
two teams.
I know. I'm not saying that they're out. They're 8-8. And to be honest, 500 might get you into the playoffs with a 16 team.
I'm very confused. Your offense is still good. The starting pitching is, a little bit. Who knows what's going to happen with it? You got Rodon out already. Giolito pitched pretty well tonight. Keiko's pitching well. But,
man, this is just all a part of having a young team that you're building. Like, this is the first year that they're going to be, fighting for a 500. You can't go from 15 games under 500 to, a number one seed right away. It's just not feasible, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that much. So, like, I don't know. I think this is the Sox season that people that aren't Sox fans expected from them. Like, they're going to beat bad teams and they're going to struggle against some good teams, but they're still on the right path. I think if they know that Ricky's not going to be the guy, then it's not that much to worry about. But I don't know. I'm just very confused by some particular Sox fans that are just besides themselves right now.
They are mad. Matt,
It's awesome.
I see a big smile on your face.
It is. You know what? I'm tired of it. Fuck them. You know what? You get to hear it all off season about how this is the year. This is the year. It's Lou Bob. It's Eloy. It's Makata. Blah blah blah. Quintana sucks. We raped you in the trade. We did this. We did that. Blah blah blah. You know what? You still got to go out on the field and play. And you got two pitchers right now. You got Giolito. You got Dallas Keuchel, and that's it. You got a great offense. But they're young, they're unproven, and you got a horrible manager. And don't forget that. You got a suspect bullpen at this point, too. They haven't been what you thought they were going to be. They've been all right. They've been good at times. They haven't been that shut the door bullpen that you expected them to be this offseason.
Matt,
coming into the season.
Talk about a
so
trade.
you got to go up. Well, they all expected that they were going to walk.
Have you guys seen this guy that plays for the Padres? He's really
the one that gave up for James Shields. Yeah, but everybody thought this was going to be the year that they just expected. Well, this is our 2015. You got to go out there and earn it still. That Cubs team won over 90 games that year in 2015. That was not a dog shit lucky team.
I just think it's an overreaction. Calm down a little bit. You're 8-8. It's not like, I don't know. I just thought it was a big overreaction.
I actually heard something on the radio today that said they went back, and actually I was borrowing Zach's truck. I heard it in Zach's truck. A guy went back through the first 60 games of the last 4 seasons, and only one time, every single year in those years, if they would have done the playoff format that they have now, that there would have been multiple teams at 30-30, so at 500 that would have made the playoffs. So, like, if you play 500 ball, you still might make it in the playoffs, but there's some of them ready to just burn it all down and chill out, man. Yeah. It's funny though, like Matt said though, there were so many people that just thought it was just good, like it was inevitable. They're just going to walk into the playoffs and knock the Yankees off or knock another big name team out of the playoffs because they're this young, fun team. And like, you still got to earn it though, Matt. You said it very, very correctly. You got to earn it, and they just haven't.
All right, boys, let's move on to something pretty depressing. College football is most likely done for this fall. The Big Ten is supposed to come out today. Can we go back to the
Sox instead?
Yeah, Matt's not done on the Sox.
Sorry.
I'm kidding. No,
I'm joking. I just don't want depression talk. I want to go back and rip that.
But the Big Ten is supposedly supposed to announce today that they are going to cancel their season. The MAC has canceled
ACC
their season.
is meeting this morning.
Yeah, their season's been canceled. I mean,
the rest of the MAC knew that this was Thomas Hancock's, sophomore, breakout year. So the MAC was quick to go. They didn't want to mess with the Huskies.
It's unbelievable, though. I mean, it's all gonna come crumbling down.
It's amazing what it tells you, though, and everyone talks about the Power Five. And the one thing I'll say about this is it took the MAC to rip the Band-Aid off, and everyone else just said, you know what, they're right. We have to do it. They just did it first.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot of there's a sentiment that the Power Five runs everything, and they really do this. You can see that they're going to call the shots on whatever happens in the spring and how everything plays out. They're going to be at the forefront of whatever happens. But it still tells you that the conferences like the MAC, the Sun Belt, the Mountain West, some of these other conferences, they do still have some clout to swing around at times, and they can't have a full season without them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was interesting how when the MAC was the first one to go, and then the following day everybody else starts following suit.
For sure. And like you said, Matt, that's a good point, because even looking farther than that, Division II and Division III canceled all of their fall sports, not too long. And that was, you just see how, like most people don't think about, JUCO ball and D2 and D3, but like when you look at it, there are those dominoes in place. And it sucks. It does. It sucks a lot that we're not going to see games on Saturdays, but, hopefully they do the right thing, push it to the spring, and we can, go from there. I think, it might get we've talked about this many times. It might get to a point where, we've got college football, NFL, basketball. We could have every major sport in the United States going on at once in the spring if everything keeps getting pushed back.
I know what you mean, Boomy. I'm excited for that, but we'll see when it comes back because it's going to be tough for college football to make it work. I mean, NFL is one thing, but to have that many kids playing football, I mean, like that's a lot of people to try and like keep quarantine, testing, and stuff like that. It's like they really, I think people really realized here in the last few weeks, like this is not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it only makes sense for people who are on the NFL radar. Mm-hmm. Because at that point,
and they were already opting out
it's a prep for the NFL draft. That's all they're doing in the spring. And then it's not anything else. And don't kid yourself.
That's a good call. Do you think with those guys opting out, that was maybe a little bit more of a push too? Like we got to cancel this season. Like it's. We think that
we can't put a subpar product out on the field.
Who knows? But it's sad. It's very sad, and it's something like you really. I mean, as much as it's goofy to say, and as like, oh, I watch a lot of sports, whatever. Waking up on Saturdays at 11 o'clock game, you got the 11:30, the 12, the 1, the 2, the 2:30, the 3, the 10 o'clock
the Hawaii games
that you're watching Facebook Lives at freaking 11, 12 at night. Like that's college football, and we're not going to have that anymore. At least for now, not anymore, but for now.
The Fun Belt at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Give me Louisiana Tech and Louisiana Lafayette just running up and down the field. God damn, I'm going to miss that so much.
It is very sad. Very sad. But let's move on to the PGA Championship review. It was a good
Colin Morikawa.
Yes. I think he's one of, I think it's Rory, Jack Nicklaus, and Tiger won their first PGA Championship at the age of 23. Very young. I think he hasn't been in that many PGA events overall. I mean, and he's a young star, and it's one of those things. They just say of all the sports,
23 years old.
Of all the sports, I like baseball. It's going to be like the season will always be looked at different. In NHL, it'll be looked at different. In golf, nothing changes. Like you're still playing golf. Like it's all the same.
The only thing I'll say is I think the quarantine sports, whatever you want to call it, it takes such a stress level off the rookies that they don't have that tension of playing in front of a crowd.
Definitely.
They don't have that. Young guys can walk in. They can walk in and they're in a comfort zone that they don't have, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 eyes just staring at them. And, TV's there, but TV's always been there when you're an amateur level at that point. So I think Morikawa, there's a wave of young golfers coming in and behind an already young wave of golfers. Like that sport is primed to be just absolutely loaded with talent here in the next couple of years. Because even that Spieth, the Spieth, Ricky Fowler, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, they're in their mid-20s. Dude.
Yeah,
it's not like those guys aren't grizzled veterans by any means. Brooks Koepka is still in his late 20s.
That's gonna be it's gonna be fun. Golf is fun. Like today was fun. At one point, there were 6 guys tied for the lead. That was fun.
There's so much, so much talent coming in behind them now. You saw it on display today, and I really think like with the lack of crowd, you don't notice it in golf. The presentation was great. I think they could do a lot more with camera angles and things like that too. Like the tracers were better, even down to that kind of stuff. Like it doesn't have the distortion that you get when there's just, that many, other figures on the screen to kind of break everything up. But, back to, Morikawa, what a day he had. And Dustin Johnson, it just kind of felt like, dude, you've gotten a major, but man, you're a better player than this. And like, you've got to he had a chance to just grab a major, rip it away and run away storming with it. And he just didn't do it.
Because, Brooks kind of went away at the beginning of the day, didn't play very well to start off.
He started off with a bogey on one, killed him.
And like you said, he had a lot of younger guys up there, and Dustin is the veteran of all those guys, and he could not put it together there and win that thing.
It was
like Jason Day was there, though. Jason Day was up there.
Yeah. There was I think 5 guys that tied at 10 under, 2 guys that tied at 11 under, and Morikawa won it at 13. And you had 2 guys in that group, Casey, who's I think 43, Dustin Johnson, who's 36. And like Matt said, this is just a great spot for golf to be in because like those grizzled vets, like Paul Casey's out here still firing, 11 under par for the weekend. And the guy who beat him's 23, another guy, the Scotty Scheffler, he's 24. It's insane to look at. Like, it doesn't really matter the age. There's great golf going on from top to bottom in the age thing. And it was on display today. Matthew Wolff, like 21, and he finished.
Yeah, that
10.
kid's good.
Yeah.
So
he's ice water in his veins too. I like that kid.
At one point, there was a 6-way tie at 10 under.
Yep.
But
that's great for the sport. I tuned in and watched when I found that out.
Matt,
what was even better was I think at one point Johnson was at 10 under and 7 guys were at 9 under.
Yeah.
So it was like the scoreboard it was just scrolling with leaders.
Matt, like you said, with the with no fans, maybe it makes it a little bit of tension. Doesn't that kind of suck though when you win and you don't get that big roar of the crowd though?
Yeah.
Yep.
As much as it's nice not like maybe like the tension or whatever, you would take it all back to have that roar at the end of like it was so weird to watch him hit that in and there's just he was happy but there was just no sound.
Yeah.
The one thing when you're watching golf, especially early on in the round, you're kind of zoning out a little bit, maybe just checking your phone or something like that. And when they flip to a new guy who's putting and you don't see what he's putting, if it's par or bogey that he's putting for and it goes in, you rely on the crowd to tell you, did this guy just rest with 6 here or did he have birdie?
That's so true too.
It's just things like that.
Annoying.
I don't know.
Keep the score up there the whole time. Like it does. Like and then they finally once he does it, it's like, oh, he's this score through this. It's like, well, then you have to figure out what his score was before. Like just
I do. Oh, I'm sorry, Zach.
No, you're good. It's just I'm annoyed by that.
No, totally agree with you. Like it just felt like you never knew what anybody was playing at. And I'm watching SportsCenter and they're just showing Tiger's round right now. I want to add with him. I know he won the Masters last year, and there's a lot of these same guys that were kind of making their, that we're just talking about the Moores, the Morikawas, the Wolf, the guys like that are, kind of coming up in the rear that are going to be, playing in Ryder Cups here soon. If he wins another one with that wave of talent behind him, and then the 2 other waves of talent that are younger than him as it is, that tells you how impressive that is.
Mm-hmm. But overall, great weekend. It was kind of nice the timing of it too, with it being out. I think it was in San Francisco. It was later in the day, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. We got to watch some golf throughout the weekend in the prime time. Like I said, without having the Cubs, it would have been the only thing that could have made this weekend better would have been the Cubs sweeping the Cardinals, which they already should have done because that's what they should. It's just weird that I don't know how it's all going to work out. We'll have to figure it out because, like I said, the Cardinals are also not going to play the next 3 games this week, so that'll be like at least 15 games they have to make up. So we'll see how that goes. But Boomy, it's been a while. Do we have a wacky web story from you?
I've always got a wacky web story, no matter if we're recording or not. That was not my fault.
Is a bear shit in the woods? Is that how it used to go? I know the wheels haven't been greased up lately.
I've got like 3 months of backed up wacky web stories, man. I'm good for a while. But this is my warning. If you are a traveling nudist, stay away from Germany. Matt, this is aiming at you.
All right, here we go.
Because a German nudist was caught on video giving chase to a wild boar that stole his bag containing all of his belongings.
His bag? They stole a nudist bag? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the bag, like a bag that he had all of his stuff in, presumably his clothes. He'd also had a very laptop and some other things. But there were pictures that surfaced of a naked man running down a sow and her 2 piglets outside of a park at Devil's Lake in Berlin. So, if you are going to travel and plan on doing some nudist time, planning on, getting your sunbathing on in a full nude, I would highly recommend staying away from Germany.
I couldn't walk around naked. I just couldn't do it.
It's the standard Tuesday in Berlin.
Just imagine walking around naked all day. Like, no one needs to see that. No, it's just not needed. And, like, you just feel awkward all day. You'll be like, Don't look at me. Like, no one
Guys,
needs to see that. No one needs to see
The
that.
best part of this story, though, is the man ran off into the woods chasing a pig and its two piglets. And it says he emerged from the woods with his yellow bag in hand, and everyone in the park began clapping for it. The whole park just started.
Imagine, though, like,
For this
especially in the
naked
time
guy
of Corona.
carrying his bag.
In the time of Corona,
What
you
was
need to
he
put some clothes
carrying
on.
his psychedelics in?
No
You know what I
kidding.
mean, though? Like,
You probably don't want to know,
it
Matt.
can't be very safe to be
Jesus.
just all naked sitting around on places. Put some clothes.
I mean, I don't think they're like sitting on each other's
No.
laps.
No. What I mean is, like, any on surfaces. Like, that's gross.
Yeah.
Corona
Oh,
going
yeah.
on, like, that's gross. What do you, Boomy?
LSD
What did you think I was
LSD's
talking about? I
dangerous
don't know what you
place.
thought I was talking about. Jeez Louise.
I was thinking you were talking about like people being in a park. I'm like,
No,
I
I
think
just mean,
they're
like,
probably
that's nasty.
separated. But
Somebody sits on like a train or something.
I would assume I have no experience, but I would assume you probably take a blanket of some sort or you sit in the grass. But
Who knows? That's just
I don't know.
something that it's not for me.
I just know. Yeah, absolutely. But if I ever get the urge to do it, I'm not going to Germany to do it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. Zelo will never be a nudist. I just can't do it. I feel awkward. I'd feel awkward all the time.
For sure.
I just feel shameful. I'm like, no one needs to see this. This is hurting people's eyes.
Self-awareness. Self-awareness is a good thing,
Yeah.
Zach.
Oh yeah. But boys, this has been the first show back. Let's do a little after show. We got anything for the after show? Anything
Well,
fun, exciting happen in your guys' lives?
Fun.
Matt made some tools today.
Fun. Yeah, I built that thing over there, put that together, assembled that tool bench for the kid for tomorrow morning.
That's gonna make you feel accomplished.
Shout out me. It's gonna make him happy for about 4 minutes, and then the terrible twos will continue. And my Monday working from home with a toddler will be what it always is. Not fun.
If you didn't,
Hey, I shot the crossbow today and
yeah, I was
didn't.
gonna say if you didn't
my
listen to
face.
the pod, which you need to, episode 77
Baby
is out
steps.
now.
We're good.
Yep. Took 10
Boomy-
shots and didn't gouge my
Boomy likes
face.
to hurt himself, especially in like his forehead region. Likes to.
Yeah.
to-
In this area, right.
I pulled a boomy today and sliced the top of my
That's
foot.
funny how that's not what that is.
Walking. Yeah, I boomied myself.
Whenever you get hurt,
No, it's-
whenever you hurt yourself, it's just called get.
No
I just
shirts.
boomied.
Yeah, I was walking out to my back deck. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but my foot like went to catch the screen door. It just the whole corner of it caught the top of my foot.
Oh.
Gosh,
Instantly started bleeding. So that was fun.
sounds awful. But as I said, if
Yeah.
you hurt yourself, just say you boomied because Boomy
Yep.
he hurt himself 3 times in 1 week. So that's what happens.
He's a noun, a verb, and an adjective at this point, guys. He's a versatile guy. We could probably add verb. We could probably adverb at this point too, couldn't we?
Probably. I wish I knew what an adverb
Well,
was.
boys,
Yeah, there's got to be an English. There's got to be an English teacher somewhere, right?
Hey, there's a reason I don't teach you.
Well, boys, it was great to be joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I forgot to shout out our own Twitter at typical_Chicago at the beginning. Go follow us on there. Follow me at Lilia TCF. Go to Instagram, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. And go over to Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans again. Follow us on there for all the content, podcasts, our YouTube videos we put up, all the food reviews. We'll be doing some more food reviews. Boomy went over to Lodi, got himself a big old pretzel. So we'll humongous.
Yeah,
Making sure you
can't
check them out.
undersell that. That thing's a monster.
Oh, it's insane.
Like I said, go to the YouTube page, type in typical Chicago Fans, and subscribe to the YouTube page. We put all of our podcasts, food reviews, Typical Chicago Fans, the TCF morning shows on there, and then also podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. If you get on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. Leave us a 5-star rating, please. Spotify, follow us on there. And then anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. We're pretty much everywhere. Boomy said we're on the Google Play.
Google Podcasts,
Google
yeah.
Podcast. So we're everywhere. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. I think that's it, boys. Oh, yeah, 26 shirts. Go to 26shirts.com.
I was over here dancing my shirt like an idiot, trying to remind you.
I was kind of like looking at you. I'm like,
let him act like an idiot, and then add 26 shirts here.
I was just trying to help.
One more time. Show us a shirt. Go over to 26shirts.com. Like I said, we'll have a discount code coming at you in the next few days coming from the TCF boys. We're going to need you to support us there. Use the promo code. We'll let you know here in the next few days. It's some great shirts. They got some flags. They got a hat. So go over there, check it out, and then we'll get you that code here in the next few days, and we will hook you guys up. But this has been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, August 10th. We love you all.
Peace.
Yeah.